So I was right. Somebody just left Unit 88 and locked the door, and they were standing in the hallway rattling their keys. There is absolutely somebody in that unit. I was right. It doesn't sound like the former resident, Mr. DaCosta. It sounds like somebody who walks with a limp. But they just moved the bag out of the way that I put there 2 days ago. Yeah. See, the bag was just moved. The door was opened, and sounds like they just locked it. Yeah, so there's somebody in there. Well, it's not Mr. DaCosta, though, so apparently I was incorrect, but whoever's in that unit has been making the same kind of smacking and banging against this wall and against the back of the wall in the corner over there when I've come out of my bathroom to try to use it, when I've put food in my mouth, opening my mouth wide with a spoon in it. That's when this piece of shit started smacking the wall. And when I went to my bathroom to try to remove some clothing to use the facilities, that's when they started getting, and then stepped back out, they started getting violent against this wall. So it's right around 12:40 p.m. on today is Thursday, February 20th, 2025. I've been sitting at my table, sending emails, putting in applications, generating and sending documents, making phone calls, making financial transactions over the last 3 hours. It is now just before 1 p.m. So I woke up around 9. Yeah, sounds about right. And yeah, somebody was just in Unit 88 and they just left, and sounds like they didn't quite know how to use their keys. So they were rattling their keys around. At first I thought it was maintenance that was literally coming in there, but then the person went down the stairs and left. So they were leaving Unit 88. And again, the bag was just moved out of the way. So that bag is no longer where I had left it, but it did not move for 2 days, meaning whoever was in that unit has not left that unit for 2 days. I don't even know how you managed to do that, but they just went down the stairs and left the building. So obviously I have no idea who that is. It didn't sound like Mr. DaCosta, but it could have been. Maybe he's accessing his old unit, still has a key, and then went to the new unit that he was moved into. I think he's on the second floor. But when I heard the keys rattling at the door, I thought it was maintenance. But again, the person who was rattling keys at the door of Unit 88 just now actually left the unit. They did not go into the unit. The door was closed. They locked it, and then they went down the stairs. Sounds like they walk with a limp, but maybe because they've been sitting in that unit for 2 days, because that bag has not been moved out of the way for 2 days. Maybe they're just a little stiff from, I don't know, sitting on the floor, smacking the wall constantly. I mean, that might make you walk with a limp if you're kicking the wall all the time. Maybe his leg is injured from kicking the wall. But as I've mentioned, half a dozen times in the last 10 videos that I've made, as I've said, there's somebody in that unit. And they've been smacking that wall over in that corner and over right here, right behind this corner right here. Every single time I've come out of my bathroom after using the toilet, which is something that Mr. DaCosta, the most recent resident of this unit, has been doing for 2.5 years. And Mr. DaCosta also has an extensive 2.5-year pattern of smacking this wall whenever I put anything into my mouth, because he has an oral fixation or has had an oral fixation for the last 2.5 years. So it sounds like Mr. DaCosta, and it certainly could still be. Again, the person who just left has not left that unit in two days, because I put that bag there 2 days ago right in front of that door. And if the door was open, the bag would fall into the door, or at least be moved, and had a little tiny crumpled up piece of tissue on top of it. So that would be moved as well. That person has not left this unit in 2 days. So maybe they were just drunk and passed out and smacking the wall repeatedly, intermittently, based on what they could hear or see me doing in this unit. And because the Greenville Group themselves have admitted to the use of surveillance devices in this unit, several maintenance managers referring to Jasmine Irizarry as their surveillance expert, and several of their staffers telling me that basically it's not a big deal if there's surveillance devices in here. And if I have a problem with it, well, too bad. Maybe I should just go talk to the police. So they've admitted that there's obviously surveillance devices in this unit, and they're basically just allowing all the perving, creeping psycho trash that they cram into this building to perv and creep all over what I do in the privacy of this unit, because these are pieces of woman-hating, masturbating, child molesting pieces of shit that will never have anything to do with any human being, because they're just mentally disturbed and a bunch of rapists. And so they perv and creep all over women who don't want to have anything to do with them. That's been happening for years. There's a series of sex offenders that have been placed in Unit 88, starting with Mark Collins in 2013. then his cousin, the other M. Collins, also was moved into this unit in 2015. And then there was another psycho creep whose name I don't know. And then there was DaCosta, the compulsive masturbating, porn blasting piece of shit who never left his unit for 2.5 years. And I don't know who's in there now, but it certainly sounded a lot like Mr. DaCosta over the last few days with the constant pounding and slamming against this wall that is the exact same pattern of surveillance-based, activity-specific pounding and kicking of this wall now that Mr. DaCosta did over the last 2.5 years. So it easily could have been Mr. DaCosta. He clearly still has a key to the unit. Maybe management is not really on top of things when it comes to getting keys back from tenants that they've moved out of certain units. They're kind of negligent anyway. They don't even know when there's no heat in this unit. They don't provide working, functioning hot water to this unit like ever. I'm constantly calling maintenance because there's no hot water to my shower or no hot water to my kitchen tap. I mean, they're just not on top of things, right? So it's entirely possible that Mr. DaCosta, the former resident of this unit, has been hanging out in his unit over the last few days and still has a key because, again, some person just left that unit right now, and I have no idea who it is. But the wall smacking and banging over the last few days suggests strongly that it is still Mr. DaCosta.